If you recently had blood work done and someone told you your creatinine was high, I want you to pause for a moment and take a breath. Because for many people over 60, that number does not just feel like a lab result, it feels like a warning. It feels like something heavy. You hear words like kidney function, EGFR, chronic kidney disease, and suddenly the mind starts racing. Is this serious? Is this permanent? Is this the beginning of something worse? Did I miss the signs? Could I have stopped this sooner? If that is where your mind has been going, you are not overreacting. And you are certainly not alone. High creatinine is one of the most common abnormal lab findings in older adults, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. Many people are handed a printout, told the number is elevated, and sent home with very little practical guidance about what they should actually do next. That gap between the test result and the plan is where fear grows. So let's close that gap. I'm Dr. Sophie Hale, and in the next few minutes I'm going to walk you through 5 specific things you should do immediately if your creatinine is high after 60. These are not miracle fixes. They are not a substitute for proper medical care, but they are science-informed, practical, and in many cases they are exactly the kinds of actions that can help protect kidney function, reduce strain on the kidneys, and improve the direction of your next set of lab results. And that is the key idea I want you to hold on to from the very beginning. High creatinine is a warning sign. It is not a verdict. It is a sign that the kidneys may be under stress, and warning signs are most useful when you respond to them early. Let's start with what creatinine actually is. Creatinine is a waste product your body makes naturally every day. It comes mainly from normal muscle metabolism. Your body uses creatine for energy, especially in the muscles, and as part of that process, creatinine is produced and released into the blood. Healthy kidneys filter it out and remove it through the urine. That means your creatinine level is not just a random number, it is a clue. When creatinine starts rising, it often means the kidneys are not filtering as efficiently as they should. Now, that does not always mean permanent kidney disease. Creatinine can go up for several reasons. It can rise because of dehydration, it can rise because of certain medications, it can rise because the kidneys are under temporary stress. And yes, it can rise because kidney function has truly declined over time. That is why creatinine is best understood as a signal, not a full diagnosis by itself. Doctors usually interpret it alongside EGFR, which stands for Estimated Glomerular Filtration Rate. That is a calculation that helps estimate how well your kidneys are filtering. In general, the higher the creatinine, the lower the EGFR tends to be, and when EGFR falls, the kidneys have less reserve. After 60, this becomes especially important because kidney function naturally declines with age. Even in otherwise healthy adults, filtration capacity often decreases gradually over the years. That does not mean everyone develops kidney disease, but it does mean the margin for error gets smaller. The kidneys become less forgiving of dehydration, high blood pressure, excess salt, uncontrolled blood sugar, and medications that place extra stress on them. So if your creatinine is high, this is the moment to act carefully, calmly, and quickly. Here are the 5 most important things to do immediately. The first is hydrate deliberately and consistently. This may sound almost too simple, but for many older adults it is one of the most powerful first steps. The kidneys depend on healthy blood flow in order to filter waste. If you are dehydrated, blood volume drops, circulation to the kidneys can fall, and creatinine may rise. The problem is that thirst becomes less reliable as we age. Many people over 60 do not feel thirsty until they are already somewhat dehydrated. Some also drink less on purpose because they want to avoid frequent trips to the bathroom, especially at night. Over time, that can create a pattern of chronic underhydration that quietly stresses the kidneys day after day. If you have normal or near normal urine output and your doctor has not placed you on a fluid restriction, make hydration intentional. Do not wait for thirst. Drink on a schedule. Spread your fluids across the day. Water is best. Soups, high-water fruits, and herbal teas can help as well, but plain water should do most of the work. A practical starting point for many people is to keep water visible, measurable, and routine. Fill a bottle in the morning. Set reminders if you need them. Watch your urine color. Pale yellow usually suggests better hydration than dark amber. Now, if you have heart failure, advanced kidney disease, or any condition where you have been told to limit fluids, that changes the advice. In that case, follow your clinician's guidance. But for many people with mildly elevated creatinine, better hydration is the fastest supportive step they can take. The second thing to do immediately is reduce excess protein, especially red and processed meat. This is one of the most important and most misunderstood parts of kidney protection. Protein is essential, yes, but when you eat large amounts of protein, especially animal protein, your body produces more nitrogen waste. That waste must be filtered by the kidneys. When kidney function is already under strain, a heavy protein load can increase the work those kidneys have to do. This does not mean you should stop eating protein. It means you should become more strategic about the amount and the source. Large portions of red meat, processed meat, and high-protein eating patterns can be especially hard on compromised kidneys. For many adults with reduced kidney function, moderate portions of protein and more kidney-friendly choices can make a real difference over time. That often means shifting away from frequent beef, sausage, bacon, deli meats, and oversized meat servings. It means considering more fish, modest portions of poultry, eggs in reasonable amounts, and plant-based proteins like lentils, beans, tofu, and chickpeas when appropriate for your overall health plan. The point is not to chase a trendy diet. The point is to lower unnecessary filtration burden. And just as importantly, avoid doing the opposite. A surprising number of older adults start loading up on protein powders, high-protein bars, or very meat-heavy meals because they have heard protein is always good for aging muscles. Muscle health matters, absolutely. But if creatinine is high, kidney health now has to be part of that conversation. The third thing to do immediately is lower your sodium intake. If high creatinine is a warning sign, high sodium is often the amplifier that makes the warning worse. Too much sodium causes the body to retain fluid. That increased fluid volume raises blood pressure, and high blood pressure is one of the most damaging forces the kidneys face. The tiny filtering units in the kidneys are delicate. They are not designed to tolerate years of excess pressure without injury. This is one reason kidney disease and hypertension so often travel together. High blood pressure damages the kidneys, and damaged kidneys can make blood pressure harder to control. Most people think sodium comes mainly from the salt shaker. It does not. The biggest sources are usually processed foods, canned soups, deli meats, sauces, frozen meals, fast food, packaged snacks, bread, and restaurant meals. So lowering sodium is not just about using less salt at the table. It is about reading labels. It is about choosing food in a form that is closer to its original state. It is about cooking more often when possible and becoming suspicious of anything that is shelf-stable, heavily flavored, or marketed for convenience. If you start lowering sodium now, blood pressure may begin improving within weeks in sodium-sensitive individuals. And when blood pressure improves, kidney strain often improves with it. Use herbs, garlic, lemon, pepper, vinegar, onion, and spices to build flavor without relying on salt. Once your palate adjusts, heavily salted foods often begin to taste far too intense. The fourth thing to do immediately is stabilize your blood sugar, even if you have never been told you have diabetes. This is a point many people miss. Kidney damage does not suddenly begin the day someone is diagnosed with diabetes. Long before that, repeated spikes in blood sugar can stress blood vessels throughout the body, including the tiny capillaries inside the kidneys. That means prediabetes matters, insulin resistance matters, sugary drinks matter, highly refined carbohydrates matter. If you regularly eat in a way that causes sharp rises in blood glucose, the kidneys may be paying the price long before the diagnosis catches up. So start reducing the most disruptive foods now. Cut out sugary beverages. Be cautious with pastries, sweets, white bread, large bowls of white rice, sugary cereals, and ultra-processed snack foods. Build meals around vegetables, fiber-rich carbohydrates, healthier fats, and moderate protein. And one of the simplest tools of all is movement after meals. Even a short walk after eating can help bring down post-meal blood sugar by encouraging muscles to take up glucose. You do not need an intense workout, you need consistency. If your doctor has not checked your A1C recently, ask about it. That one test can reveal whether elevated blood sugar has been quietly contributing to your kidney stress. The fifth thing to do immediately is review every medication and supplement you take. This may be the most overlooked step on the list, and in some cases it is the one that changes the picture fastest. The kidneys clear many medications from the body. When kidney function declines, certain drugs may build up more easily. Others can directly stress kidney tissue even at normal doses, especially in older adults or in people who are dehydrated. One major category to pay attention to is NSAID pain relievers, such as ibuprofen and naproxen. These are very common, widely used, and often underestimated. In the wrong setting, especially with dehydration or already reduced kidney function, they can worsen kidney stress significantly. This does not mean stop every medication on your own. Please do not do that. It means bring a full list to your doctor or pharmacist and ask a focused question. Given my creatinine and kidney function, are any of these putting extra stress on my kidneys, or do any doses need to be adjusted? And when I say full list, I mean everything. Prescription medications, over-the-counter pain relievers, cold medicines, acid reducers, vitamins, herbal products, powders, traditional remedies, everything. Many people forget to mention supplements because they assume natural means harmless. It does not. Some supplements can affect the kidneys directly, while others may contain ingredients or contaminants that are not obvious from the label. That conversation alone can be one of the most protective things you do this year. Now I want to step back and show you why these 5 actions matter so much together. Hydration supports blood flow. Lower protein reduces waste burden. Lower sodium helps control pressure inside the kidney's filtering system. Better blood sugar control protects the blood vessels. Medication review removes hidden stressors. Each action targets a different pathway of injury, and that is why they work so well as a package. You are not just trying to push one number down. You are trying to create a healthier environment for the kidneys overall. That is how real progress happens. Not through one dramatic intervention, but through several intelligent corrections made at the same time. So what should eating look like in practical terms? Think simple. Build meals around vegetables first. Add moderate portions of kidney-conscious protein. Choose whole, less processed carbohydrates more often than refined ones. Use healthy fats in reasonable amounts. Keep sodium low. Keep sugar controlled. Keep portions sensible. Foods that often fit well into this approach include leafy vegetables if your doctor has not restricted potassium, cabbage, cauliflower, green beans, peppers, berries, apples, grapes, oats, barley, olive oil, fish, tofu, beans, and lentils where appropriate. Foods that often deserve much more caution include processed meats, heavily salted packaged foods, fast food, sugary drinks, large portions of red meat, and frequent desserts made with refined flour and sugar. Now, depending on your kidney stage, potassium and phosphorus may also matter. That is why there is no single perfect kidney diet for everyone. Someone with mild early changes may have very different needs from someone with more advanced chronic kidney disease. That is exactly why involving your own clinician, and ideally a renal dietitian if available, is so valuable. There are also a few important things to monitor. Do not look only at creatinine. Track the bigger picture with your medical team. That may include eGFR, urine albumin or protein, blood pressure, A1C if blood sugar is an issue, and electrolytes such as potassium. Trends matter more than one isolated number. One result may reflect dehydration or temporary illness. A pattern over time tells the real story. And if your eGFR is reduced, if your creatinine keeps rising, if there is protein in the urine, or if your blood pressure is difficult to control, ask whether it is time to see a kidney specialist. Early nephrology input can be extremely valuable. Waiting until kidney function is severely reduced is not a strategy. It is a missed opportunity. Let me say something else clearly, because many people need to hear it. You do not need to panic, but you do need to take this seriously. Panic is not useful. Denial is even less useful. What helps is measured action. Drink the water, clean up the diet, cut the sodium, ease the protein burden, steady the blood sugar, review the medications, follow up on the labs, ask better questions at your next appointment. Those are not dramatic steps, but they are the kinds of steps that change trajectories. And that really is the word here, trajectory. A high creatinine result after 60 is not only about where you are today, it is about where you are headed if nothing changes. The good news is that for many people, a lot can change. Sometimes the improvement is modest, sometimes it is meaningful, sometimes the biggest victory is not reversing damage but slowing further decline. That matters enormously. Because preserving kidney function is not a small thing. It affects energy, blood pressure, fluid balance, medication safety, cardiovascular risk, and long-term independence. So if you have been frightened by that number on the page, let that fear become focus. Start today with the most immediate steps. Drink more intelligently, look at your plate honestly, read labels, cut out what is obviously stressing the system, move after meals, make the medication list, book the follow-up if you need one. You do not need to do this perfectly, you need to do it consistently. I'm Dr. Sophie Hale, and if this message finds you at the moment when you are staring at a lab result and wondering what to do next, let this be your answer. Treat high creatinine as a warning sign, respond early, and give your kidneys every possible advantage now. Because the earlier you act, the more room there often is to protect what still remains. Start today, not after the next scare, not after the next test, today, with a glass of water, a lower sodium meal, a shorter ingredient list, a walk after dinner, and a clear decision that your kidneys deserve attention now, not later. That decision may matter more than you realize.